Our very own Joe Snake Dog Sockick is always up for an adventure, and he joins us now live from the FIFA World Cup in the Middle Eastern city of Doha, Qatar. Joe, you must be having a ball over there, despite some initial controversies leading up to the event.
Indeed, Brian. There were a few questions asked of the Qataris, like how a stifling hot desert nation with a terrible human rights record and no sporting infrastructure or history in the sport were able to beat other applicants like Japan, South Korea, the United States and Australia to host this bloody thing. But as this fan was able to clearly show, it all worked out for everyone in the end.
Where is my security? Come on.
Here we go, sir.
And since I'm not allowed to discuss the 6,500 migrant workers who died since Qatar won their bid for the World Cup, or the approximately 500 people who've died building the stadiums, we can switch off and enjoy the 50-degree sunshine, Brian.
Yes, you look like you could enjoy a cold beer now, Joe.
Oh, well, that's not happening either, because the Arabs shut down the beer sales outside all venues across the country at the 11th hour.
Well, who needs beer when you have all the action of the FIFA Football Soccer World Cup, eh, Joe?
Oh, yeah, well, record equaling 7 0-0 draws in the tournament so far, Brian, so a beer would be nice. How come no one in management told me there'd be no beer?
Oh, just give us the recap of the tournament then, Joe.
Well, yeah, aside from the epic 0-0 draws and matches decided by penalty bloody shootouts, there was actually a fair bit to cheer about. So this week's INN Sports Wrap will feature my top 5 moments of the Qatar FIFA World Cup. Number 5, protests. They seem to be all the rage these days, except in Australia and Canada where you can be shot with rubber bullets or have your savings account closed. But Iranian players showed a lot of courage by not singing their national anthem in support of the Masa Amini protests. Well done, lads. Number 4, upsets. It was a wild World Cup for upsets, and everyone loves an underdog, except for the Americans, of course. They just like America. A few of the biggest upsets came with Japan knocking Germany out 1-0, Morocco taking out Portugal 1-0, and who could forget Saudi Arabia knocking off Argentina 2-1 on the third day of the tournament. Number 3, sexy goals. Messi warmed us all up with this worm burner against Mexico. Then Aussie Matt Leckie went all legs and arms, slotting this one. Salem Al Dawsari pulled this one out his backside to help Saudi Arabia knock off Argentina. But it was the Richarlison one-man bicycle show that won goal of the tournament for Brazil. Number 2, Magic Morocco and Courageous Croatia. We all remember Croatia's gallant effort to make the World Cup final in Russia 4 years ago. But the ageless soldiers almost did it again, this time taking out 3rd place against the equally impressive Moroccans, the first African team to reach the Final Four of a World Cup. And the number 1 moment of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar goes to Lionel Messi's Argentina, who took home the bickies against France in a 3-3 thriller that went to penalties. Despite an Mbappe hat-trick, it was champion Messi that lifted the trophy and got to wear this magic black robe. Well, I'm off for some shishas and cold water. So happy holidays, Brian and Sands, and I'll throw back to the beautiful Jane Bunyan for weather. Hi, babe.